Greetings everyone, Napoleon Complex here, and welcome back to Field of Glory 2. Now I'm a little short on time and I'm a little rusty, so I thought I'd take a play through the tutorial. But I'm doing it on Deity difficulty. I just wanted to see what it was like in Deity because although all of the troops are the same, we do have the below average penalty and of course the Roman legionaries, and they're now highly superior instead of just superior. We're getting a little bit of information about our units here because it is the tutorial. So, the first scenario I don't think is going to be too bad, even though we're on Deity, because obviously it's meant to be hugely in favour of the player, and that's exactly what we can see here. I can see already that's probably going to be a smart move if we can start to attack those cavalry that have exposed themselves, because our warbands aren't going to be very exposed to these light javelin men. And so we can afford to use our light troops to cause as much disruption as possible. Well, those Gallic cavalry are going to be very exposed to missile fire, and we should definitely be able to cause a disruption. We took a cohesion test. We couldn't get them to wobble. I wonder if it's worth risking my cavalry. But no, that's the kind of over-eagerness that can really get you hurt. We'll just take our time and continue to hurt the enemy. Right, what do I want to do here? Let's see if we can provoke those those Gallic cavalry into doing something rash. Now, there's a chance they might knock our slingers off of the map. This is why I wanted to play the tutorial. I'm still a little bit rusty. It's worth being aggressive early on and really weakening that unit. We've caused a huge amount of damage to it already. I'm going to, let's see, 200, and we've got the rough ground here. That's probably what we want, to be honest. And here we go. See, if we position this unit here in the woods, now if the Romans attack them, they will become severely disordered. So this is probably where we want our CNC. I don't really want him in the forest itself, and the reason for that is I want the Romans to have to enter this forest to get anywhere. And the idea was to use the one, but then again, I think the forest might be more of an advantage. I think if we position our commander-in-chief here, we'll hold these units back, just in case they decide to engage 3-on-1, and then we can bring up our troops in support. But this should be a really good defensive position, and of course that will give my cavalry time to do their work. So this unit is out of command space. I won't be able to maneuver it very well. So let's just get within strike range with these units. Okay. This unit can't really... Well, this unit's not really got the same height. I think I'm going to bring this unit round to here. That way it can protect that square there. Give these warbands a little bit of backup. We're going to have a very squat formation on the hill here. And my other chariots I'm just going to hang back. Yes, I know how the game works. Ooh, close. That's of course what the risk was. That could have gone horribly wrong. Ah, they charged the wrong unit of slingers. That's put them in a very bad position. They'll be much better off going for this unit. And that also means these slingers can get behind their position, start causing havoc behind the lines. This is so far exactly what I wanted. Interestingly, the Roman legionaries do seem to be trying to avoid my warbands, and that could complicate my plans. Right, we'll bring them forward as planned, start hammering them in the rear. Again, I'm really focusing on these heavy units so far. That might lead to us getting pushed off the map, but I do want to engage my chariots now. Or do I? That's a good question. Because I could get the Romans enmeshed in all this rough ground and use my chariots' bows to weaken them. Ah, no. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't need to engage my chariots this turn. Although... Alright, we are slowly softening this unit up. Let them charge, I'll probably throw them into disruption. I might even be able to knock the Gallic cavalry off of the map. Now these skirmishers are a problem. Let's continue our attack over here first of all. Now we are getting some harassment from these light javelin, but they're not really close enough to cause a real threat right now. We'll continue to pummel these Gallic cavalry. I can't quite engage my... that's dangerous. Hop back just a little bit, you guys. In fact, come over here, because then you can engage here. And they won't be able to charge at us. And we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we can be pushed off the map. So, yeah, we'll have to withdraw here for now. Can I engage my chariots? I don't really want to target these Roman legions because I'm not going to cause much damage to those heavily armored troops. I'm still gunning for the cavalry. Let's just let the Roman formation loosen up a little bit more. And I still need to make a decision here, I guess. You know what? Blood for blood. Oh, wait a second. These aren't bow chariots. I've been too used to the Egyptian-style chariots yet in the ancient era. These are melee chariots. Of course they are. Right, in that case, we'll just hang back and let the Romans enter into a position which is not going to be favourable for them. Yes, yes, you're very scary. Okay. Re-engage the light horse. And once again, I'm going to try and avoid getting shoved off the map if at all possible. But keep them hanging around like a bad smell. And I wonder if I can turn. You can't quite do that. Okay, fine. You got your wish. We'll engage the light javelin man. And yes, I think those Roman legionaries may be about to do something very stupid. Now, this unit in particular has got itself in a right state. I'm going to try and go for the auto break. Surround these cavalry completely and annihilate them. Okay, these are superior troops, but we are getting them into that kind of neighborhood. I suppose I could drive them off the map. It's looking like that's what it's going to require. Or I could do this. And they break immediately. That could be a little bit dangerous because the Roman legionaries are, but remember I've got my barbarians on the hill. We can menace them if they decide to do anything too stupid, and now that I'm winning the battle I can afford to be a little bit more aggressive. And what I'm going to do here, again we'll just leave these units in position, but I am going to position this unit to face this way. I want to engage them in this battle over here. And okay, yeah, we'll put a little bit of pressure on them now. Oh, chariots went running off the map. Okay. Should have seen that coming. I was hoping they'd expose their flank. Run away. Right, they're in a very exposed position. That is no skin. That being chased around was no skin off my back at all. Trying to finish them off with this unit actually. Yep, we can then turn around. That's exactly what I wanted. Finish them off. We're already up to 20% rout score. And the heavy units have barely even been engaged. Let's see, I'll have my chariots continue to shelter around. I'm quite happy to dance around the Romans right now. Now let's see. Right now, Romans have actually been doing a fairly good job of keeping my lights off. I'm going to have to engage in some more risky activities now if I want to really flatten those Gallic cavalry. There's not a lot I can do against these Roman legionaries, but I can at least try and hit them. start to engage our warbands. Let's see. So, the ultimate cheese. Well, we know the score here. I don't feel bad about doing it against the AI, but that will be a guaranteed cohesion drop, and then our warbands can arrive to finish them off. Beyond that, let's just wait. It's fine, those are superior troops, they're able to take the punch for a turn. We're going to annihilate them. And they're already fragmented, and with that, well, let's... okay. Try and crack them. I wasn't quite able to do it that turn. But they're now getting slaughtered. And since they've decided to ignore my light horse, we should be able to finish them off this turn. I'm willing to trade a unit of slingers for a unit of Gallic cavalry. Really though, I would like to not lose any soldiers this time. I feel like I could have tried harder there. What we'll do is we'll bring up this unit to potentially act as a distraction. So that can also backfire. No, keep the slingers back, that way they might get distracted by our chariots, and that will in turn save our slingers. And what we'll do is to help with that, I'm going to move this unit around. There's much more like... it can all backfire. See, it really depends. If they run off in this direction, they could run to here, my chariots get pushed away, these units come running in, and they have our slingers in the back. So there's not really a lot I can do to help those slingers now. I made a mistake for positioning them there. Right. We have a pretty good odds of engagement if we engage there now, even with our troops moderately disordered. And of course, my real motive for doing that is that sets up a flank attack. And then our warband can come in and finish them off. And to keep those few remaining legionaries honest, I'm going to engage my chariots now. So we'll castle them out. And well, these light javelin can eat javelins. It's fun returning to the old tutorial scenarios and seeing just what you can do to the AI. Yeah, that was a weak charge. But that was a mistake. I regret doing that. It's fun to see what you can do in these beginner scenarios once you're much more experienced. Now let's bring them in and finish this. Nope, still holding. Okay, well, I'm not done yet. There we go. Oh, and there's more. Don't get too close to those legionaries, lads. But just in case you do, we've got chariots to the rescue. Oh, isn't it nice having more resources than the AI for once? Okay. That means our chariots have room to withdraw. We've hit them, they're disrupted. Hit them again, and next time we hit them, it'll be infantry, not cavalry, that's hitting them from the side. Ah, they disengage. They disengage back. That's not too bad. Now we're not disrupted anymore. Right, I think that's almost a wrap. Hit them in the back too, just in case we can cause a lucky disruption. Or this Roman force is regretting messing with us. Keep peppering them. Nah, I won't engage the chariots. Keep something in reserve. And they changed direction, interesting. And they decided to engage our chariots. There we go. I was quite lucky getting highly superior troops to panic. There we are, and there's the proof I was fighting on Deity. Right, so we're going to Sicily now, and this time we're going to be playing as Pyrrhus, and we're fighting the Carthaginians. So it's part of the Pyrrhus's war against the Carthaginians in Sicily. So I'll let you read through the text box if you're interested. Now let's discuss this from an experienced player's perspective. So let's see. So we're positioned on top of a hill with broken ground to either side. Okay, so it's starting to teach the player about terrain and also about difficult ground. We've got plenty of Italian foot, so that's telling us to use them on rough ground. Okay, to be wise to reorganize your order battle. This is critical, particularly in multiplayer, to be able to reorganize your line. Oh, I see. It's deployment. So this is really teaching about deployment now. Let's take a look at what we've got. Oh, nice enough for them to show us the enemy force before we deploy. Let's see. Now this is a much more dangerous enemy force. Let's take a look at what they have. Phoenician style foot, they're classed as enthusiastic. So these units will be basically slightly above average, but they've got higher morale than normal. The light spear and swords. What's going to be good against them? Well, obviously our phalanxes will tear them apart. But what might be a bit more cost effective is these citizen hoplites. They will, however, be pretty dangerous to our Italian foot if they're fighting in the rough, because these are medium foot. And my own medium foot, they're not particularly good, especially with the debuff due to Deity difficulty. This could actually be quite a challenging scenario due to the debuff we get. These Gallic warbands, because they're above average, they're actually potentially quite okay. They're veteran pike phalanxes, so they'll be fine. But I need to keep them away from my citizen hoplites. If these Gallic warbands hit the citizen hoplites, they'll be absolutely devastating. The mercenary hoplites, as long as we can keep them on the rough ground, our Italian foot can handle them, but they're going to be very dangerous if the Italian foot are caught out in the open. And finally we've got the cavalry. Gallic cavalry on both sides, not a huge problem, but the enemy do have elephants, so we need to look out for that. And they do have an advantage in skirmishers because they have these Numidian lights. Right, but what I do notice, if most of our units are pretty tough, we can withstand the enemy skirmishers. I'm a little worried about the citizen hoplites on the right here. But I wonder if it's worth taking an aggressive stance here with the skirmishers. We'll have the javelin out on the foot on the flanks, because if they're going to be useful, they need to get right around these Phoenician style foot. But we'll have our archers and slingers in the center. And yeah, once again, just make room for the javelin to be on the flanks. How am I going to arrange my main force? Let's take a look. Elephants and cavalry. That's always a nightmarish combination. We can really only answer that with elephants and cavalry of our own. Now my line is going to be shorter than the enemy's line. I do have some ideas. Elephants and cavalry. Oh wait. If I'm going to put the elephants over here, I'm going to need to engage the enemy skirmishers after all, because I need to protect my elephants. Elephants are very strong, but they can be liabilities sometimes, particularly due to their vulnerability to, particularly due to the morale bomb they drop in your army if they break. So that means I'm going to have to worry about these Phoenician foot. Right, we're going to build a strong left flank. Just telling me that the elephants are unmaneuverable. And I'm going to really overstack this with my heavy cavalry. I'm going to keep my veteran armoured cavalry over here, and they're going to act basically as a distraction force. I'm going to use them to try and pull the Phoenician foot around. Do I want to take an offensive stance? Well, I need to go over to the left, so I've got this open ground to engage their cavalry with. Beyond that, let's take a look at our infantry line. The mercenary hoplites and Gallic warbands are forces that I want to engage with my pike. So the very strongest units in my army are going to be on the left-hand flank, and we're probably going to deploy a weighted flank. Now, with that offensive stance taken, I want to open my cavalry, so I'm going to move them forward ahead of my infantry. Just move them like that, angle over here. I want to give the cavalry are actually going to move over to the left-hand flank, but my elephants aren't as fast, and I want to give them a head start. We probably want the citizens, because they're going to engage things. They're going to engage on this ground here. Well, that's fine. We can keep the citizen hoplites, and I'll keep a unit of Italian foot. If I need to change my formation around a little bit as we advance, we can do so. Keep the cavalry ranged out in front, because as I said, they're going to be set loose on a distraction action against the Phoenician style foot. Right, good news is we're finally ready. Let's start the battle. Okay, various messages. Send the cavalry rampaging out. I don't really have much of a choice but to cross the rough ground if they're going to go off and do their distraction action. Let's start to move the skirmishers. We want to maneuver around the high ground, so I'll try and keep my troops on the elevation. Or at least get them up onto the elevation in some cases. I can already see that it's going to be an even battle over here. As promised, let's get the cavalry moving out onto the left flank, but swerve out a little bit, give the elephants... They can... Yeah, the elephants are going towards the left, so... Swerve around like this. Just let's get the elephants out and relevant on the field. And I'll start to bring the rest of my army out, and it's going to shift left just a little bit because I want this phalanx to meet that unit of mercenary hoplites. Yes, I know how the end turn button works. You already explained this to me. And those Balearic slingers are superior, so I need to be a little careful. Javelin horse are also a problem. Right. Okay, simple enough here. I'll move around and start to harass those Numidian light javelin men. There you go. And get our... They can move in, and then they'll have a height advantage over us. I really don't want to move into that line of fire. Let's go for a compromised position. We can avoid them a little bit. There we go. Scored a disruption, which is probably the most important thing. Start to move our elephants off towards the left now. That was less efficient than I would have liked. That just doesn't seem wise. Not with a light horse harassing us like that. Move like this, that way we're at least a safe distance away. Javelin horse aren't usually too dangerous to elephants, it's more the foot javelins, which are really destructive. We're still getting into position, so it's fine. Well, their force is advancing. Above all, I don't want to be caught in the downhill. Because it's going to take me a turn to straighten my line up. Right, continue to push out. Start to attract the attention of these Phoenician foot. Superior troops in action. This is not going as planned. They're going to take the heights. Right, okay. I can see that happening. My elephants will push these javelin horse away. Right, with a bit of luck, our slingers should fragment these units. Right, it's not. Oh, they've been locked in place. You know what? It's dangerous. Whatever we do, charge out. We break them. Didn't spread any panic. This unit's in danger, but at least we got something out of that. Now, the cavalry. Push these javelin horse away with our elephants. And if I now time it, let's see. A little bit dangerous getting close to those elephants. Push on for the minute. I could go charging after the javelin horse. Let's see if I can launch a charge here. What does that do? I was hoping it would leave them in range. Alright, let's just swing around for now. We've got our elephants relevant to the battle. They're where we want them to be. That's fine, we don't need to do anything else. Let's see if we can attract the attention of these Phoenician-style foot. Just want to flip my troops around here, be annoying. Ah, okay, that would work. Push our phalanxes up towards this hilltop region here. So because they can occupy that gap there. And we'll swing our force around. Since they're determined to be so aggressive, I'll start to make for the hilltop here. Right. Keep hammering them because we've got rid of the threat. Really decimating the skirmishers now, and I don't really want to stay here getting... I kind of have to. I do really have to stand my ground with these Numidian like javelin because I'm protecting my elephants. Okay, right, that's still fine. Keep going. They had to turn to avert the flank threats. Well, they didn't have to, but the AI isn't smart enough to realise they were going to drive these slingers off anyway. That's dangerous. They could have engaged our elephants, and I do not want our phalanxes anywhere near our elephants. Distraction action sort of doing its job. Mention the disruptor is there. Begin to maneuver our elephants into position. Push off those lights. Good, they didn't go. I was afraid they'd go a little bit too far. Let's just move forward and lock down those cavalry, and then we'll bring in the elephants to doom them once they are far enough into our grasp. These skirmishers do not want to have anything to do with what's happening there. I'm not going to risk them getting caught. I'm trying to win this without losing a unit. So instead, what we'll do is we'll move this over here, keep our height advantage. Now we're unmaneuverable here, that's the only issue, so that's the best I can do. I'll move to here, and I think I'll turn around to face here. And it's starting to become a little bit clearer where our battle line is going to get drawn up. Don't like the fact that those Gallic warbands are getting so close to our citizen hoplites, because they're the troops I wanted to keep them away from. And the cavalry can just keep being incredibly annoying. They're good at that. Oh, then moved out the way. It's the problem. You kind of have to take some risks with your lights, for them to really be useful. If you're trying to protect them like I am, they are really not that great. Not that decisive to the battle. Which is why my skirmishers hate me. I actually use them aggressively to attack the heavy units. So they're always getting caught and destroyed. Yes, that's very nice. Good timing. I need to engage with this unit. Why are these? Oh, of course, because of the above average penalty. This could be a bit problematic. We will eventually engage our elephants here. I guess I need to keep them honest. Can our elf... It's a bit ridiculous shooting over the heads of our elephants, but well, it didn't cause a cohesion check anyway. Okay, right. Now move in and lock them in place. Do not engage just yet. I don't want you going racing down the hill. Or do I? I'm going to be aggressive. They might get a pushback. Yep, they did. But I'm prepared to handle that. This unit can turn, lock in the enemy units. Pretty sure I can get help to the area in time. These citizen hoplites will eventually have to confront the units on the hill. Our lines are going to swing past one another. We do not want to position our troops there, because there might be a long pursuit and we might get caught. Keep tying them up. Move away and turn and sling. And you guys just stay away. Shooting really won't do much, but I suppose we can at least start the softening up process. Right, next turn, we could see a fragmentation and an impact here if we're unlucky. I forgot to actually engage my cavalry. The enemy seems to have forgotten how to flank. I knew those elephants were going to engage us. We stood firm. Yeah, and now my cavalry are getting shot at for no reason. That was stupid. Too much talking, not enough thinking. Break them here, see if they disrupt. Held firm all the way. That's fine, that's still veterans even with the general in place. Engage them. I'm a little bit worried about a pushback here, as that would be very bad for us. I should have waited. We can transfer the general though, that will help. We're keeping them honest here. I'm going to have to flip my line around. I will actually have to risk my Italian foot getting involved, but I'm hoping that they'll blunder and engage me here. That way I can bring them in on the flank. You guys can go there, protect that unit's flank, and I'll pull you guys around the mountains, or you can be in reserve or whatever. You're not very important to this battle anymore. Actually, with a little bit of sharp thinking, okay, they're low on ammunition, but I was trying to force a cohesion check there. The elephants are engaged. There's nothing more we can really do with these skirmishers. Is it still bad odds, even when I move the general away? Okay. Engage. Engage, and I know this is going... Oh, no! No, no, that was bad. I need... why do you always do it? Every single time. And now they're going to be able to charge past us. That was foolish. Should have moved the elephants up and then engaged. There was no real reason to take that risk. Okay, well these citizen hoplites are at least free to start moving to their aid. Now, let's end the turn and hope that we haven't done too much damage to ourselves. It'd be a real shame to lose those ice to Foroi. Oh, our cavalry took the fight. Good, good. All is going according to my plan, except for that. Impact! But we withstood it. Now that's what I like to see. Okay. Use my elephants for else in a limb. Okay, we push off those lights. And they've managed to withstand firm though. I imagine we're not doing too well here now. Can we turn? No, because they're facing us. I need to do something about this situation. The elephants are going to have to charge. Keep them honest. Yes! Oh, I did not deserve that much luck. Turn around and threaten the... No, before we do that... Oh, I don't really have a choice anymore. But, what, because we might lose here, and that would force me to reevaluate my strategy. Right. And you move like so, and like clockwork. And that means we can get our citizen hoplites into position to flank a bit earlier. What is happening with those elephants? It's fine. Continue to move around the flank. It was always going to be a low chance we'd lose there. Yes, I know how command range works. If we have the advantage in impact, I'm going to take that. Disrupted. It's fine. Even going uphill, those troops are not going to stand much of a chance against the phalanx. That, on the other hand, could be dangerous because now they're going to charge downhill. We set up the flank here as planned. Protect the flanks. It's all under control. Yeah, I don't really see anything that I need to urgently respond to. Keep them honest here. Barring a sudden fragmentation, we should be fine. Just trying to see if I can move my cavalry into an area where it'll be scary. Instead, let's actually take the fight to them. Good, good. That might prompt these Phoenician style foot to go to their rescue. Things are definitely going our way now. As long as these elephants don't suddenly fragment. Okay, I thought that might happen. And they're coming straight up the hill at us. Now that's where I'm at a slight disadvantage because those are better troops. Okay. That's got them off the hill. Our phalanx can take over, shattering the enemy commander. It was bound to happen eventually. That could be where we lose. Right. Move the light troops to here and try and distract the elephants if our elephants break. It's going to fragmentation. That unit's going to break. Turn this unit around. We can hit the elephants in the flank as they come past us. Hopefully. We'll commit to our flank here. At least we can win this action. Right. We're going to have to engage them here. We've lost some of our deep pike bonus, that's why we're not fighting as well. We're starting to fragment the warbands. The longer this goes on, the worse it will be for us. We need to hurry. Get around them. Is there a way to organise this so that they just start? No, there's no way to. I can't play with the movement rules here. It's not going to work. Use the height advantage. We do have an advantage here. Just finish them off. They're going to manage to push us away here. Okay, unfortunately our archers are trapped here, I think. That's not good. So I managed to lose a unit of archers as well. Oh dear. And I should have moved those elephants, but at this point the battle's going to be resolved before it can become a question. Fantastic, we might get 2 of their units finished off. They were too busy trying to correct that situation to take advantage of our archers' exposed positions. The only chance these elephants have is if I can end the battle before they break. Now, as predicted, the elephants crack, and that's also going to frighten the rest of my army. Thankfully, it wasn't too decisive. But I can see that those warbands are going to break because their animations have stopped. And that should spread panic and chaos throughout their army. Or not. D6, just 1 more break needed. Oh, that's a shame, the elephants got away from us. We'll turn our phalanx around, ready to deal the coup de grace here. But turn them to face this way, then they've got the option of flanking here or continuing to threaten the flank here. Turn them around. Let's see how our troops do. I do have a free general here. What's going to be better? What's going to give us more advantage? Probably here, because we already have a good chance of winning here. Right, and can we reinforce that with a double drop? Nope. Right. And here we just continue to fight on. But it's all in vain for the enemy because we're going to break them here. And I think they've just splintered. Nope, just a morale drop, but I'm still going to go for the break. All our units are pretty low in ammunition now, so I don't have a huge amount, what you'd call a huge chance of getting this to happen. I couldn't break them. And the commander held out against us to the end. What about another left? Push off. You're not wanted. Despite the fact that it's on an angle, we will be able to charge next turn, I'm fairly sure. I think that's how it works. Since we can't appear to move anyway, which actually confuses me a little bit, let's at least do something here. Right, that should be it. See, I'm not even bothering to move the elephants up there. Well, could go on another turn, I suppose. Yeah, no holding on just to spite us. Get out of here. There we are. Right, folks, I've got to go for just now, but I'll be back with the final mission to complete the video. We're back with the last of the tutorial battles with a considerably more tired Napoleon complex now. It's 11 o'clock here. Well, we're now playing Hannibal as he crosses the Alps, and we've been caught by a small Roman force. Future Napoleon, it wasn't a small Roman force. Back in the mists of time, I actually remember finding this quite difficult. I'll just check our difficulty settings. Make sure we are still in Deity. Okay. I wonder if... I don't think the point selection has actually been affected. So we do actually have our point selection that we'd have on lower difficulties. Let's take a look at what we've got. You know what? I'm going to treat this like a deity battle, and I'm not going to take any extra forces. We're going to go with what we have. So now this is more like a deity battle. Now I bet money there'll be Romans in those woods. Still don't think this will be too tricky a fight. God, my computer is whirring at a rate of knots. I hope everything's okay. We've got Superior, Hastati, and Principes in the front ranks. They are going to be the hardest troops to deal with. We've also got these above average armoured cavalry, and with very few cavalry of my own. This is actually going to be a difficult. I'm actually realising now just how small my force is. Maybe I shouldn't have been so quick to jump straight into this without forces. Right, let's begin to analyse. How am I going to... The weakest part of the enemy force is probably the armoured cavalry. But I've been thumped by Romans before because I underestimated them. Anyone who watched my old fight against... it was basically a fight between the Romans. Well, hill is a natural advantage I can use. In fact, if we move back here, if I can cover that square there, that gives me a 100 advantage here. Unfortunately, it kind of goes away at that point. No, wait, because cross to there, cross to there, cross to there, that's still 100 all the way. So if I can position my troops up here on the ridge. And I think I'll need to if I'm going to get an advantage over those infantry. We've got a bit of rough ground here. The Spanish Scutari might be able to position themselves along here and make use of this ground. Of course, you're also supposed to use the built-up area, but the African spearmen are by far the most exposed troops to these superior hastati. Let's see, so curving round. See, at that point we're off the hill and we're no longer getting the height advantage. So once the enemy are around behind me, I don't really have the same level of strength. Maybe we have these 3 units here, and if I keep these units back, I'm going to take a very defensive stance here. And you can tell that I really don't fancy my chances in open battle at this point. We also have very few skirmishers. I'm starting to think that this was actually a deity level battle after all. Okay, we are definitely not winning skirmish here unless... Put these units in the woods. We're going to have to basically fight a guerrilla war against their skirmishers. Assign these guys to this general here. In fact, why on earth do we have a general on skirmishers? Right, the skirmishers can be under... Let's put them on the light units under them. Okay. I usually like my commander to be in with the infantry, where the thick of the fighting is going to be. And also because that allows them to command and influence more units. And finally, the cavalry, I guess, can have their own commander as well. Right, the cavalry is another one, because our cavalry are actually outnumbered here. What if we position them in the woods? If we can hide them long enough, I can eventually deploy them to attack the Romans from this position here. The only question is whether the Roman cavalry will leave us alone long enough to do that. Okay, I think I've done my best. Let's begin. So oh. Yep, we're deployed. Right, move up to here as planned. And see, we need a troop and soldiers in this position to hold this defensive point. Our flanks are protected here, but at some point they're going to get around this unit. I suppose that's where my troops on the rough ground come in. Okay, I don't know what I'm so afraid of. We can win this. I'm going to pull these units around to here. They're going to serve as a reserve. We've got our ambush ready. My skirmishers can be tossed out when the time is right. For now, let's move our Numidian light horse forward. Surely the Romans are going to come out and play. They have all the advantages against us. Yep, they're coming straight for us. That's premature. Just bring them to the point where they're relevant to the battle. So they're going to descend on the skirmishers, but not yet. We need to be out of range of a sudden dart to the side. And we'll bring the javelins here into view. I'll set up my troops on the hill. Wait a second. Yeah, it's impassable terrain. Very important to know that. It's not always clear from the graphics. We'll keep back for the moment. Okay. Let that steamroller come on. Oh, they're veering away from us. Smart. So just using one unit of Veltais to block us off while the skirmishers go in and do their job. Holding the cavalry back so far. Elite Triari. If I'm not wrong, they have a nasty shock effect. Right, I can't just let my troops get shot to pieces by skirmishers. We're going to have to bypass this. And I think it's now or never to reveal the skirmishers. See, they'd have to dart across like that to confront us. Right. So if we move to here, pull them back. Yep, move to here, cover that square there. Keep the cavalry back for the moment. They've probably already seen us, to be honest. You know, there's a very real chance of me losing the tutorial here. I hope you're happy. Right, we're going to lose unless those troops get help. I hope they've still got their free turn. Good. We should be able to prosecute that. We'll need to. Well, of course, the predictable thing to do would be to then bring up their troops around to flank, so I'll need to block that with the Numidians. The Javelin Light Horse may be the lost patrol today. Draw in like this so at least we can share some of the fire. And 2 units of Javelin at least shouldn't do too much damage to our main force. We are definitely losing units today. My African Spearmen are going to have to do a bit of dancing. Funnily enough, the enemy infantry seem to be steaming towards our skirmish battle. Blast them. Fragmented. Good. These are tough skirmishers. And you can see that they've withstood the attack, the assaults. Our Javelin Horse really do not like standing in close contact. We can charge here. Oh, good. God bless the weird Field of Glory movement rules. Now, if we're really lucky, yes! Fortune favors the brave. Right. Now, can you turn just to... Okay, that at least means we're not going to get flanked next turn. I'm going to have to drop these units back a square. That means they're probably going to move forward and take it. That also means my warbands are going to take a drubbing next turn. But once the enemy infantry begin to advance, they should pull back, and the worst will be over. Other than that, I don't think there's much else I can do or say just now. Keep it up. Keep the pressure on. Oh good, thank you for not changing direction. That could have been so much worse. There's nothing like the prospect of fighting superior impact foot to put the fear in you. Can we charge? Well, we may as well get one more blow in. Let's see if we can cause a fragmentation. And I'm going to blow through their lines again. Now, for heaven's sake, do not get caught up on the skirmishers. Okay, good work, lads. This is going about as well as we could have expected. Now, put the general on to the African spearmen. They're going to need his influence the most. Especially once those velites get their licks in. When the moment is right, I'm going to need these cavalry to leg it across the battlefield. There's nothing left to do now but wait for the impact. I don't know how good our chances are. I certainly haven't memorized the POA chances. Yeah, the skirmishers are starting to pull back. Some very stupid and foolish Italian foot decided they'd try and challenge us from the front here. I'm not going to attack yet. Of course, it does mean they're using their Italian foot to very effectively lock my troops down. If the Stati and Principes are stupid enough to strand themselves, this could be dangerous. Oh goodness, those light cavalry are dead. But if they're stupid enough to strand themselves on the rough ground, then I may well get more than my fair share of flank attacks in here. I'll wait until this mob moves closer before I engage this Italian foot. What are our chances? I mean, pretty good, actually. We've got a nasty impact, but if we withstand that, we'll be winning. These guys are completely entombed. let's push things slightly in my favour. I can't afford to babysit all of my soldiers. If we take casualties, we take casualties. And since I can't do anything but stand around, let's do some damage to this cavalry force. Now, if they're not careful, they're going to expose themselves to my waiting cavalry. And these guys can defiantly toss some javelins, I suppose. That's a slightly weaker unit of Stati Principes, so they'll be a slightly easier target. As far as superior troops are ever easy. They're really shying away from this hill charge. Can you see what's going to go wrong for me? That was actually a really good place for them to end up. I love that. Right, the enemy are going to lead with their Italian foot. So of course my troops may pursue. Oh, thank goodness! Thank goodness for disciplined warbands, and they broke. 21% already. This is looking like a military miracle. Right. Move to here so that if we're engaged, and I'll have to, because if they try and flank us here, we can hold them. Our position is secure. I like this. This is good. Let this continue. At this rate, we won't even need the ambush, which is just as well because I think its prospects are rather dismal. I don't want to encourage those cavalry to actually break through, so move our javelin out of the way. We'll soften up these Hastati even more. Can't really do much to those troops. I don't think my skirmishers can do much else. I'm not going to needlessly throw their lives away trying to engage a force they're unsuited to attacking. It would be really, really nice if we managed to somehow extract these Numidian light horse, because they're in a pretty horrible situation. If I can just draw back slightly, that gives them an escape route. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll move there. That way we've no, just leave the warbands. Leave a gap here. The warbands will move back into position. We don't need to do anything drastic. We're winning now. I was so nervous when I saw this setup. We're moving into the forest. Our cavalry may come under attack. Now, please. Oh, whew. Hannibal. I think it was Hannibal's presence that helped us there, because that was a bad impact. Right. Now springing, I don't think I'm going to get much else out of keeping my cavalry back. We'll move them into the fray. That pins that unit down for a turn. And, are you... let's see. There might be something that I can do with that. They held firm. That's a shame. What the hell? Let's go for the disrupt. Gotta give it to those Roman cavalry. They were determined. Turn to face this direction. We can still charge out, but if they decide to do something, that'll put them in the flank range. That's why they're not doing anything. They know that if they charge out, they get flanked. But while that cavalry unit is facing this direction, the Hastati are free to now attack Hannibal's spearmen, which is very dangerous. Bring our cavalry round. They're a complicating factor for the Romans here. I might have to get more aggressive on this hill. And, yeah, let's bring out the cavalry here as well. I really... No, we'll bring them out here. Really trying to keep this unit of Hastati honest. I know it means I sprung the ambush early, but I'm planning now on winning this more conventionally. Good, they've turned around. I didn't expect that. I'll probably drive our light horse off. And of course now we're getting hit by the skirmishers. Here come the big guns. Should have seen that coming. And we're going to lose those light horse. Having said I'm not going to throw out any skirmishers, that's exactly what I ended up doing. Keep fighting them here. Let's just see how this goes. We're going to break before I can do anything here. Just give them a wallop. Right. Who do I want to die to first? Right. Let's move our troops here. We're going to really start hitting Sempronius Longus' unit. I'm trying to force these stati into rash action. Could engage my cavalry. I maybe sprang this early, but I was under pressure from the javelin men. I want them to attack me, not the other way around. I've already lost our in-depth bonus. This is going to be one of those nasty up-close grinding battles. Right, we'll counter-attack. I'm going to ride these cavalry away if we're allowed to make that maneuver. Okay, they've also broken. Not the unit I would have liked. No, exactly the unit I would have liked them to hit. Let's see what our cavalry end up doing. In the path of their pursuit, we've stood our ground. Not what I would have liked to see happen there. And they're covering that. %39% chance of a loss. Stood the ground, and now we're going to get flanked in turn. But it has changed things for the Romans. It might be enough to push me off the high ground, because I'm going to have to come out and help this situation. You can't hide on the rough ground forever. At some point you have to engage your troops. And I'm being very, very cautious so far. Let's give them a proper hit. Now they're getting ground down quite quickly. Right, okay, at this point I think I am actually going to have to come out and try and win this battle. Move these troops around to here because they're not really doing anything. At this point I don't want any of my troops to not be doing anything. We need to get these reserves into battle. There's no way those cavalry aren't going to charge our flank. Okay, at least they held on for a turn. Good. Break them. Not much we can do here. Okay. That's a disruption. And they've fallen back. Good. Okay. That's more dead Romans, and I'll always celebrate that. Only we were in a position to take advantage of that. I think I have to try and break this unit, and then it's going to come down to who wins the duel between Hannibal and this unit of Romans. Nice. Now, let's see. And no one's in charge range. We can just slip back into the rough ground here. Now we're losing this. We've only got 300 men left. Right, what am I going to do about this? I'm going to start to angle towards an attack here, because they're now on the high ground. There's 50 to 50 here. We can. This is not. These are not good odds. How am I going to win this battle? That's what I really need to think about now. Because I've got the advantage, but I don't know how to seal the deal. Well, we're definitely going to go for the break on these struggling Roman soldiers. Unfortunately, we didn't get very lucky on impact. These guys are going to slowly die if I don't get them help. And they can't escape anyway. So I suppose they're going to slowly die. Turn your flank. This is an opportunity. These Triarii are quite vulnerable, and so are these horse. Unless Hannibal gets a victory soon, which he just did, that evens things up a little bit. Run like the wind. Okay, let's at least that at least gets you out of there. You're protected by the heavy foot now. Darn. Oh, you know what? That just may have won us the battle. Pin them down in combat. Do not let them move back. Let's see, can I move the cavalry to here? And that's perfect. Good. Keep that in. I'm going to bring these troops out just in case those armoured cavalry start coming back. Finish off those Romans already. Okay, that's one way to do it, I suppose. Combat's slowing down here. It's pretty horrible whatever we do here, so just keep fighting, I guess. Keep bullying on. We're not going to do anything drastic here unless I absolutely have to. We're now taking direct javelin fire. Good, they're going to be moderately disordered by the talent. I wish I'd kept some lights up here. Then I wouldn't have had these opportunities. Things might be swinging in our favour, but the Africans will break first because they're lower quality troops. In fact, they're going to break really soon. Finally cracked the Romans. Do I really care if those troops are flanked? I don't think I really care. They'll be flanking out of moderately disordering terrain. They are going to lose that. Bring in the charge. Okay. And you know what, if they're not going to break, I'll have... I see the danger coming towards us. Well, that's all the more reason to hurry this along, to be perfectly honest. Protect that square, please. That means I'm no longer protecting this unit from... You know what, nothing's ever simple, is it? I could block this unit in. That would really be a last resort. Okay. I don't think we really gain anything from turning like that. I still want to maintain pressure on that unit. This is the thing, it's just like chess. If you let a piece, if you move a piece, it means it's not covering something else. Let's bring these units in. At least they're low on javelins now. I'm not really sure what I gained by doing that. Turn, because once that unit breaks, we're going to have to cover the sector of the front. In fact, for that reason, I'm going to bring these Africans back. We've just lost the general, and oh no! Oh, not so close and yet so far. That was the worst possible outcome that could have happened. We've lost the battle. I'm fairly certain of it now. All that work and one lucky disrupt. Good. That could at least help. Please tell me that got rid of them. Health farm. I'm going to lose the tutorial. I'm never going to hear the end of this. If we manage to hold on, we might stand a chance here. Pull these units back. Because that disruption threw off everything. Of course, our low level units won't hold. Now they break. But that's to be expected. I'm not complaining about that. Limp them away, but now they're in range of the Triari. You can just see it snowballing into one another. We're basically besieged on this rough ground. I'm going to move to here to threaten the flank, and maybe I can get a flank from Hasdrubal. I was expecting to charge from there, but it didn't matter. And we've got the cover of the town now. Engage them here. This is pretty much the only sector of the front we have a chance in. If we fight in the town, both sides will be disrupted. And it might be tempted to go for us here. It might prolong our lives a little bit. Okay, we held firm here. We might be able to get a flank here. That was only a 24% chance of happening. Oh good, that gives us some new lifeblood. Thank you, Mago. Right. I need this to count. Yes! Oh, could it be? Oh, but now they've got flanking infantry coming in. The momentum has definitely shifted against us. Keep grinding them down. At least we've got numbers there. Fragmentation. Turn these troops around. Maybe they'll rally, and if not, at least we can get their general back. But they're about to get flanked. Oh no, they couldn't because of the rough ground. How are we still in this? They're bringing in the Veltais even. They just held on a little longer. And they're rallying up. If I can find a target for them. 2 disrupted units here. We can break those Veltais. They've fragmented at least. We're driving them back. Lots of dying Gauls. The Gauls are very good at dying in numbers and still fighting on, coming in to kill you. Let's just freed that unit up. Fragmented. Fragmented, that's our ticket to victory. If I can break that unit of Veltais, that might be our ticket to victory. That, and if the Triari go, oh, could we win this? Give them the general because they're in the biggest threat. It's still going to be nasty getting flanked, even on rough ground. More rally horns going up. The Romans could rally as well because they're high quality. There we go, a rally. They're trying to get out of there, but they've got nowhere to go. More Romans pouring on. %59%. Sometimes life's just there to taunt you. And that's... What else can... This is the only move I can make that would make a difference. And that's it. Time for me to eat humble pie. You know what, I could say that that's humiliating, but I'm going to say it. That was a really hard battle, and I made it harder for myself than it had to be. And I didn't fight badly. I made intelligent decisions. I was maybe a little conservative, but on the other hand, there's an argument that I also sprang the cavalry ambush too early, and that's what got us into this mess here. I'm certainly not sure I should have charged out like this. That was a needless gamble. I also think I would have done better had I put my warband here, but then again, yeah, if I put the warband here instead of the exposed unit of African spearmen, I would have had more longevity. But it was a difficult fight, and as I said, I'm still getting back into this, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much about this. It's an interesting one. I technically lost the tutorial. Well, folks, I've been Napoleon Complex. Thanks for watching this. It was an interesting experiment. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, next time, I won't have quite such a bitter defeat. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and fare it well for now.